Or is yours?
Hey, everybody, welcome to the NASCAR Burn It Down podcast. I'm Dave, this is Brian, and we're going to talk about Richmond and Watkins, Glen, and everything that's happened in between. So, as we normally do, what did you think?
Snooze fest. I fell asleep until laps to go, to be honest. Absolutely boring, horrible race. To me, it was, at least. I didn't find it fun to watch.
There were some stories inside the story. And
yeah, I know. It's just... Yeah, Can you hear me?
You're going there, now I can.
Oh, yeah. You can hear me. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a super exciting, thrill-packed race, but there were some pretty cool things that happened that I really, really enjoyed. It was fun. So, congratulations to Kevin Harvick.
Move your camera down.
Back to back.
There you go.
2 in a row. That was badass.
Yeah, he came to be a non-contender to a threat, essentially.
Locked in.
Yep.
Going in. And he didn't just back into it. That was impressive.
Yeah, we knew it was coming for the win, but we didn't think 2. I thought it was great for him to win 2 in a row. Obviously, he's figured out the car, him and his crew. It took him all year, but you know what? At the right time. Like I said, I have a few things after Daytona. Probably I can say it now if I want, but I want to do like a mock. What we think the mock is for the championship when it's set. What we think is going into 12. What we think is going to 8. What we think is going to top 4. Let's make, when that happens after Daytona, let's make a mock.
We will. We absolutely
a mock
will.
Playoff. I would like to, I guess, try to guess at or make a stab at it and see how it goes.
I agree. I like doing that as well. Anyway, let's run down the top 10. We got Harvick win. Bell was second. Buescher was third. Another strong run by Buescher. Hamlin, Elliott, Logano, Truex Jr., Almirola, which was a surprise to me. Kyle Busch after all spin out and everything else, and then Blaney in 10th. Of interest, Bubba finally finished outside the top 10. Kyle Larson in 14th. I was impressed with Keselowski. He had a bad pit cycle. And there was one other one that maybe that. Tyler Riddick had another bad day. Ty Gibbs, of course. I guess they blew up a power steering pump.
Yeah, I literally woke up and he was like last DNF, so I didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great day.
Nothing really changed in the standings as far as the playoff look at things.
Just Kevin Harvick solidified himself essentially.
Exactly, and you've got pop-ups.
I seen a picture. And right now it's playoffs. Obviously, Chase, Ross, Logano, Kyle Larson, Blaney, Byron, Harvick, Hamlin, Reddick, Bell, Kyle Busch, Briscoe, Kurt Busch, Suarez, Cindric, and Bowman. Out right now is Junior, and Blaney's in by point. He's essentially, anyways, pretty much got a win that you're in, besides Blaney at the moment. But I saw a picture on Facebook. I don't know. It's pretty much locked into the chase right now, or locked into the playoffs. It's Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Busch. Everybody else is not locked in quite yet. They might after Watkins, Glen, but right now not locked in. It's Alex Bowman, Suarez, Cindric, Briscoe, Kurt Busch, and Blaney. Now anybody from, I think, 30th points and above can win and still get in. just by their.
You've got to be a full-time racer. You've got to finish in the top 30 in points.
Correct.
And I heard an interview this week with the competition director. His name slips me right now. And the question was put because we still don't know. Nothing has been announced as of today whether Kurt Busch is going to be in that car this weekend or not.
Yeah, I looked at it. I couldn't find anything. Hassan Hamilton is his name? Jusan Hamilton?
Oh, there's people
No, that's the competitive director. I just looked it up. That's his name.
Okay.
Jusan Hamilton. Well, continue. It's fine. That's fine. Continue.
But he said they've already invoked what is commonly called the Kyle Busch rule. They're waiving the minimum amount of races as long as Kurt stays in the top 30 in points, which he will. If he misses both Watkins, Glen, and Daytona, he will stay in the top 30 in points. And as long as he comes back for the first race of the chase, which I believe is Darlington.
That's probably what he'll do, because if he really wanted to race Watkins, even though he's not great on road courses, so might as well skip it. Daytona, why hurt myself? Why come back and hurt myself possibly? So let him come back at Darlington.
I'll put it to you this way. Scenario-wise, what I see happening is if there is another first winner. Well, we've still got 2 open spots as far as the wins go. One?
Yeah, 1 spot left. There's 15 winners. Kevin Harvick made that happen. There's only 1 spot.
You're correct. Yeah, you're correct.
1.
If we have a first-time winner this weekend, I think he will do what he has to do to get in the car in Daytona.
Yeah.
If we don't have a first-time winner this weekend, he will probably, if he's sitting out this weekend.
Yeah.
I think he'll go ahead and just sit out Daytona because then he's in no danger of going into the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the
thing is, Ty Gibbs can't race more than 5 races, right? He could.
Now, you mean as far as forfeit his rookie status?
Yes.
I don't know what the current rule is. I know back in the day it was 7. When they had these guys that before they made them declare which series they were actually going to run for a championship in, back when like Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch and they were running both series and they could potentially win the championship in both. And they also had some Busch guys coming up and running races, preparing to go full time the following year. At that time, they were limited to 7 before they forfeited their rookie status for the following year. So
I think it's 5 now. If I'm right, but I could be wrong.
I could be wrong on that as well. I just know what it used to be. But if it's still 7, then he's good to race the next 2 races and still keep his. But according to Joe Gibbs, Ty's not going. He's going back into Xfinity next year full time. He's not coming up to Cup. But we all know that there's a scenario out there where that could change. But anyway, like I said, not much has really changed other than Kevin Harvick solidifying himself. Blaney's in on points. Truex is
must run. It's 5. Must have run no more than 5 races previous. From 2001 to present. Yeah, it's 5. Before 2001, it was 7.
Okay.
So yeah, it's currently 5. So technically, if he races this weekend, he can't race anymore.
If he wants to keep his rookie status for next year.
Whenever he comes up.
At this point, and the way he's racing, I don't think he gives a damn, to be honest with you. What does being rookie of the year in the Cup Series get you anyway?
A plaque, I mean, really, a plaque?
Yeah. An attaboy, pat on the back. And the way that boy's racing, man, I'm telling you what. All right, that pretty much covers Richmond as far as the numbers. I don't have a whole lot more to say on that exactly. There's some things I do want to cover that happened in the race that to me, again, it wasn't. I agree with you as far as the excitement chock full of a race, but some notable things. There were one, two, three, 5 cars failed 2 trips through inspection, being both of the Roush cars, Colleague cars, and then Gilliland, and they're all. I think is Gilliland a Ford or is he?
He's Ford, yes. He's teammates of McDowell.
So I don't know what was going on. What I was surprised at is they were all allowed to qualify and keep their position. I always thought that the second time.
I think third times you lose your qualifying and pit selection, and you lose crew member.
Well, they lost crew member.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the third time is you lose qualifying and pit selection.
Okay. I guess I wasn't clear on that. But, I mean, you had Gregson, Haley, Keselowski, Buescher, and Gilliland all failed twice, and I still haven't heard what all that was about, but I thought that was interesting. Denny Hamlin better straighten his shit up. Ross Chastain is living absolutely rent-free in his head.
Oh, yeah. That restart push, what an idiot. He was trying to make Chastain crash. Chastain, he knows how to pedal to the metal, and it pretty much, on that restart, if I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about, it made Denny go back to, the 10th position because he went too fast into the corner. Come on. Yeah. I was like, when that happened, before you texted me, I go, what a fucking moron. And you literally text me the same thing I was thinking. He's living rent-free in his head. I know Denny wants to push Ross to make mistakes, but you got to realize Ross already lives on the edge of those, so you trying to push him, he's already there. So it just blew my mind on that restart that, he gave him one hell of a push, but in the end, it screwed Denny on the restart.
Denny still ended up finishing in front of him. But it's like, dude, we all know you're going to go get him. We all know that no matter what, you're not going to let him win the championship. And I promise you, if you pull a move on him and take him out before the Final Four...
Get the cameras out, because it's going to be Days of Thunder all over again.
Chastain will make damn sure that Denny does not win a championship at all.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, ever. Yeah.
And you got, in the Final Four, I know you got Phoenix. Perfect place. And what are they going to do? I mean...
$50,000 fine?
He just needs to continue to race, get into the championship, and he'll have an opportunity. And maybe he won't have to do anything. Maybe he'll get into it with somebody else, and he won't have to do anything. But like I said, if I was Denny Hamlin, I would just completely blow this off, get it out of my mind, and act like he's just anybody else. Be a little more cautious around him, obviously. But if you're going to do something, doing anything before the Final Four races is completely moronic. Mm-hmm. Because if he does, like you said, Chastain will make sure that Denny won't win a championship.
Yeah, it'll be straight out of a movie scene. Put some tires on it. And Cole, put some tires on it. He's going to go out there and wreck them. It's going to be Days of Thunder 2. It's what's going to happen. It might not happen at that race, but guarantee it'll happen. And it'll probably happen way sooner than you think. It might be a punch in the mouth or something. But we know shit's happening soon or going to happen with Ross and Denny. Then we got William Byron and Joey Logano. That one's kind of below everything. So, but shit's gonna start hitting the fan. Start playoff time because they're gonna make sure they don't get high up in the chase.
I agree, and it's gonna be fun to watch and something to talk about. I love Kyle Busch. He invented a new verb this week.
Chastained. Got chastained. I didn't even know what happened. Like I said, I fell asleep, woke up at 50 laps. The next thing I know, his interview, I got chastained. I'm like, what the hell happened? Obviously, there's a.
Again, I think that in view of the circumstances, if it wasn't Chastain, it would have just been a racing incident. I heard a couple of guys this week, and I agree. I don't want Ross Chastain to if I'm a car owner, I don't want him to change. No. That man is out there kicking ass, trying hard, unintimidated by anybody.
He's literally our day and age Earnhardt, essentially. And people loved Earnhardt because of his I don't give a shit, I'm going to go win attitude. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Earnhardt made mistakes, but, I don't know, it's tomato type thing, but in my opinion, he's another different shade color Earnhardt, essentially.
How is he any different than the younger Kyle Busch?
It's just...
At least Chastain, he'll get, I screwed up. Kyle Busch was like, screw him, they were in my way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just loved it. And then I also, Kyle Busch, he had a carnival of events. He tried messing with Ty Gibbs, and Ty Gibbs is like,
oh my God.
No, you don't.
Oh my God, yeah. Kyle gave him the little nudge, got him loose, and then the very next corner, Ty Gibbs came back, did it right back to him. I think that was
what caused his mechanical problems because he gave Kyle a hell of a shot.
Hey,
but what I did notice,
he didn't try to go back at him.
He did not go back after him a second time.
Nope. That was respect, is what that was.
It was. I told you. I says I'm very fastly becoming a huge Ty Gibbs fan.
It's funny thing because obviously he's Joe Gibbs' son or grandson or great grandson, whichever. Grandson. And everybody's to say he's spoon fed, but at least that boy can fucking race. It ain't no fucking Austin Dillon. Or Ty, you know what I'm saying? At least he can race and back it up. Like, look what he's doing. Don't get me wrong. Yes, Austin won in the Xfinity, but not nearly as dominant as Ty is. And also, Ty's been barely in this car and performing well when he doesn't have malfunctions.
Well, I want to see something so I know exactly what I'm saying here.
I think Austin's out of that car in 2 years anyways. Junior buys it. But, that's all speculation. While you're searching, there is some news I seen today. Ryan Blaney's got a contract extension. I didn't say how much. He's good to go.
It's long term. Long term.
Yeah, no. He got his extension, which we knew was coming. He don't want to let him go. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there was another thing with Kyle Busch. He also said today or this weekend about his team. Wherever he's going next year, his trucks, his truck teams is a part of that negotiation because he said, I think in 10 years, his son's, going to be racing in the trucks and he wants to share that with his son. And then when his son turns 18, I think he can drive 16 in the trucks. And when he turns 18, Kyle's going to retire, he says, at that time.
Yeah, that came out right before the race.
And then he's done after that, and he's going to hand the reins over to his son.
Brexton, he's a...
You better watch out for Brexton. You got Keelan Harvick, they shipped him overseas to go race, if you didn't know. And
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they shipped him overseas to Europe. probably to learn because Harvick probably seen all these road course racers being good, so he's like, you need to get good at road, not oval, because we're transitioning more to road. So get good at road, you can learn oval. So essentially, he's gonna grow up on that, and then you don't know about the boy, but you know Leo Gordon is gonna be Leo Gordon. Gordon doesn't post much about him. But he's going to be up there. Same thing with Larson's kid and Boyer's kid. I know they both race too. So, like, literally in 10, 12 years, it's going to be interesting with all them boys come up.
Yeah, Boyer's kid.
Cash.
I'd love to see. Man, I was thinking about Boyer this weekend. It's like, man, I wish he'd come talk to everybody.
He's on Twitter. He's not being super active, but he's there.
Dang it, I was trying to look at oh, get out of there. The 4 races, obviously he was dead last this weekend.
Oh, there's another thing that came out saying Childress is still mad about Tyler Reddick, and there's rumors going around. He wants him out of the car for next year.
We've already just
talked about that. We talked about it, but it's actually come out as an article now.
Yeah, Reddick is. We said the second he announced that he was leaving for 23-11, he's done. They'll support him for the rest of the year, but that's it. Expect the day that Tyler Reddick is eliminated from the championship run for the announcement to come out within 24 hours that Tyler Reddick will not be
racing
for Childress next year. I promise you that you don't do what you did to Childress as far as blindside him the way there was no. It's like, hey man,
he had 1 hour notification before he
went public.
Before he went public with Denny.
Not to have the respect to go back to Richard Childress and say, hey man, the boys over at 23-11 are talking to me and they're offering me this.
Yeah.
Can we sit down and maybe do something?
Like, what's your future plans for me in this organization? Like, get some insight. Unless he knows something we don't. Obviously, they're in the circles, but he's like, I'm out. I'm out.
He thinks that Ty Dillon is going to be, We know. And I think that's what's actually going to happen is
Ty Dillon's going to be in there, and they're going to bring up the 33 for Austin Hill.
They might,
because that'll leave the 8 open. Because
I think one way or another, I can almost guarantee it. Tyler Reddick is done with, after this year. He's done with Richard Childress. Richard Childress, you don't do something like that to a man with that kind of stature. And he's like, "Oh yeah, man, we're good. We'll support you for another year." You backstabbing little.
He doesn't put that much money in. Yeah.
He's not going to do it.
Only way he, I think, stays with him if he wins the championship. You don't draw.
I think Richard Childress is pissed off enough that he won't care. I really do.
He's a championship. Bye.
Yeah, thanks for the trophy. See ya. Get out of my car.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to notice about or make mention about at Richmond, and it's a growing trend of late. You notice the top 10? Anything about the top 10?
Finishing positions?
Uh-huh.
Four Fords, 4 Toyotas, 1 Chevy.
1 Chevy in the top 10. You had 1 in 11, 1 in 14, and then you had 16, 17, 18, 19. From 15th through the 20s was
all Chevy. 16 through 24 was all Chevy besides 1.
It was all Fords and Toyotas except for Chase Elliott in the top 10. Chevy's got a problem. I don't know what it is. You know, it's like last year they were tearing it up, winning everything, and this year, granted, you know, Chase has got some.
Well, they started out good because I think they understood the car better because Chevy and
Ford is caught up.
Yeah. Chevy and Childress was the one who helped design the next gen car, so they had a lot of information for it. I think they had the upper hand, but now Ford and Toyota has definitely caught up. I agree. Now Chase, he's the only one really holding ground. I thought Larson would more.
He just kept going more and more backwards as the race went on.
And the same thing with Ross. I thought he would do. Like, it's just there's some circumstances, obviously, but yeah, they can't really get a handle of those cars, can they?
Then you had Trackhouse, which has been stronger in anything, and they finished 19th and 18th.
Yeah.
It was kind of amazing to me that the top 10 was all Fords and all Toyotas, but okay, that's pretty much everything that I've got of note on Richmond, other than to cover our predictions. You predicted Logano the winner. He ended up 6th. I said Truex. He was 7th.
I win.
Well, Dark Horse, I picked McDowell, 29th. You picked Keselowski, 15th.
Win again.
No, you don't.
I did. What are you talking about?
Keselowski's 15th. McDowell was 29th. Bye-bye. That's mine.
I picked Brad, right? Or you did?
No, I did.
Oh, I thought you said I did.
Okay. Bubba in the top 20. You said yes. I said no. He slid in with a 13th place. And we both said Denny would be in the top 20, and he was 4th. So that was our little fun part. Like I said, to me, that wraps it up. To me, it was kind of a fun race to watch. Just because there were little things that were happening throughout. It wasn't super exciting. If you had watched the truck race the night before, even the boys on Sirius were like, what the hell was that? It was a complete snooze fest. That was the talk of the channel most of the next day. It wasn't the other stuff that we're talking about, but that truck weight race they said was, I didn't watch all of it. I watched a little bit, but they said that was a real snoozer. So have you got anything else in news and views and that kind of stuff?
You want to talk our fantasy?
No.
I was first, 217. You were 205 second. Alpha's 166 and Lunar 89. Did he choose anything? He didn't make any picks.
Yeah, probably not. I thought I'd done pretty good until I looked at our scores and I was like, son of a... I don't know what picks you had versus what I had, but I thought I'd done pretty good. I had Bubba in the garage just because I was starting to... I wanted to get at least one foot on the Bubba train.
Yeah, I seen that, but still, regardless, he still finished 13th compared to Brad's 15th, but he only had 24 points compared to Brad's 29. So,
at the time that you had to make the change, Keselowski was way ahead of Bubba at the end of stage 1. So
yeah, I had Byron. Same thing with me. I had Byron, who finished 11th over Ross, but it's only 3-point difference. Like Ross had 29 points, Byron had 32. So I didn't really lose much. I lost actually 2 points I could have gained, but I was still up there.
Yeah. Here's an interesting. They had 2.4 million watching that thing on a Sunday afternoon versus a Saturday night race, up 34% from last year, which was on NBCSN. That might be a reason right there because it was on USA this year.
I think this is the 4th week in a row that the viewership has actually increased. I've seen somebody say something like 4th week in a row.
I think that obviously when we had like 6 races left and 2 spots to go was part of it. And I also think that the Hamlin-Chastain thing is part of it as well. But they're saying that Chase Elliott is a betting favorite at Watkins Glen. I beg to differ.
I would say Reddick. Honest, that'd be my pick for the.
Don't get me wrong, Chase will be in the lineup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But like you said, Chastain will be. Suarez.
I'm gonna wait to see how they qualify, but yeah, I already have a rough draft of who I'm gonna pick because we have 2 races left, and I can literally pick anybody. I've already staggered it to where I can go my master. What I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and tidbit. Chase Elliott can win the regular season champion
by finishing 33rd or something like that.
Yeah. He's probably going
almost crash out of this race and win the regular season.
He's most likely going to win the regular season chip this weekend. We'll expect that celebration with whoever wins, Chase or not. Chase will probably just do it for the be funny. All right, win.
I like I said, you know who's actually, this is interesting, got the best average finish? I'm not buying this because all right, it's only because Chase has only been there 5 times.
Yeah, Chase is. I think he had his first win there, where he first started it off.
He's got 2 wins in 5 races. He's got 2 wins. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is. 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s, and 1 pole. But your best dude, as far as active drivers, is Martin Truex Jr., Keselowski,
yeah,
and
but
Kyle Busch.
I wouldn't even. I don't know. Toyota's not good at roads, but they did good at the Indy. But I don't know. I'm hesitant to put Truex in, to be honest.
Logano, Harvick, and Kurt all average finishes of 9. Almirola, Hamlin, and Landon Castle. Whoa.
Well, we got the 91 racing, the Kimi Räikkönen racing the 91.
I could care less about 7 different countries. You know what?
I know how they try to be diverse, which I get it, but Kimi Räikkönen's driving the 91 Trackhouse. I expect much, probably not. I expect 25. That's it.
One of your worst heavy hitters is Kyle Larson. Average finish of 7th. He's won 1 time. He's been there 7 times. 4 top 10s.
Just got to realize he has only been there once with Hendrick. The rest were with Chip Ganassi, so hard to hard to do averages with 2 completely different equipment.
You know, here's something I've been thinking about. Kyle Larson, for some reason, almost seems to be distracted. He just doesn't seem to be focused to me.
When he won his race, he's won 1, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Whenever he won that race, I thought
that was early on too.
when he won that race, he didn't seem excited to win it. It was just like another day. If you go watch that interview, it's just like, yeah, we did good, guys. Yeah, good job. It wasn't like a celebration like you normally have where they're screaming, happy, smiling. He didn't even like crack a smile, to be honest. So yeah, I kind of can agree with that, but there might be stuff going on in the background. And I know he's doing his midget cars or sprint cars. I know he just had his Kyle Larson race. He hosted this weekend or yesterday. Mm-hmm. So he might have been with that. But yeah, I can agree. He might be putting too much on his plate. I know he won the pole, and then he had to fly all the way to Knoxville for a race on Saturday and then fly back Sunday for the race. So he might be overbooking his...
That's my statement why I think he seems distracted.
He might be overbooking it, but he did that for his championship season too. But he also might be not motivated. I already did everything. I already won the championship. I don't, I've already done everything I've set out to do, but do you want to be just a one and done championship, or do you want to be on the same ranks of Gordon and Jimmy Johnson? And
I agree. There's something going on there.
Or he just might be coasting until the playoffs. He might know this. He's not getting the best equipment until playoffs, because a lot of people, they got a lot of secrets gonna come out, like little hits there and there on the car. So he might not be getting the best equipment. So he might be waiting to playoffs to start rearing down. I don't know.
I'm refiltering here. Average running finish. Chase is really good at this. He's average finish is 6th. Truex is 7th. So is Christopher Bell. That's impressive. Well, he's only had one race there. Eric Jones, there's another good one. 11.5 average finish. Blaney is 11.6. He's in 9th. I don't know. Like I said, I am not going to do anything as far as winning this regular season fantasy league. So I'm like you. I've played all my cards. I can do whatever I want as far as who I'm going to pick.
I jumped up in the national standings with that last race, like 5,000 positions.
You did?
Yeah.
Good for you.
I was like 23,000. Now I'm like up to 18,000. So my goal was a top 10,000, but like I said, at playoff start, it's gonna change a lot.
Well, yeah, y'all go back to everybody goes back to 0 when we get to.
Yeah, you get 5. I believe you get 5 back to 5.
And there's what 6, 8,
12
races.
Is it 12?
I think it's what 4. Yeah, or is it? There's 3, 6, 9. There's 9 races.
It's 10. The first 3, then a knockout. Then second 3, then a knockout. And the last 3, the knockout. Then the championship 4. There's 10 races.
Okay.
10 races in it. So.
Well, I'm still 248 behind you, so, and my rank is 45,329th. Yeah,
I'm 18.5. Like I said, I jumped from 23 to 18 with that. The number one guy is only 48.52. I'm 43.59. I'm not far behind him, but I don't think it's enough to even catch that. But like I said, top 10,000 was my goal when I started this. This is the first year I've actually stuck with it. I started it last few years, and I'd always forget. And then there's no reason to continue now. I forgot.
Right. Okay. Let's. You got any other news things that you wanna?
Yeah. Auto Club Speedway.
Yep, they're doing it.
They're actually getting rid of that boring track and pretty much making a half mile. It looks more like a Martinsville than a Bristol, but we don't know what the bankings are going to be or whatnot. But it's a half mile.
Well, the last we had heard, and I'm surprised because I mean, I don't like get on every day of the internet and scour all the news. But the last I had heard, and this has been months ago, that there was some kind of zoning thing.
Yeah, there was a holdup or something. All of a sudden, I seen pictures of them taking stands out, and I'm like, oh, okay, they're getting rid of stands because no one's going there. But in actuality, they're getting rid of stands because they got the approval, or they don't care if they got the approval. But I don't know why they do that. But they're making that.
They must have got the approval because they're bulldozing that place down.
Yeah, it's going down to 1.5 miles. If they're doing that, they expect it to be done by next spring.
I think we're going to have short track race in California, and I think it's going to be awesome. And I think they should take that MF and Coliseum and stop that bullshit, and then go to the new. What a great debut!
Yeah.
Do the beginning of the race or the season at that short track. Go back to do your regular schedule, and then instead of California,
showcase it.
It's a perfect opportunity because I'm telling you, if they go back to the Coliseum, we're gonna have to go back and look at what the TV ratings were for it, and they were pretty high because it was a new thing. It was the first real competition of the year. If they do that again, which I think they've already said they're gonna,
they are. Yeah.
I promise you, the ratings are not going to be 50% of what they were last year, especially if over the winter they announced that California has been transformed into a half-mile track. It would be awesome for them to go to that. And I'm hoping that it's more of a flat banked. Like
I said, I just seen the overhead view pictures of their, like it shows the regular California drawing, and then it shows what the new one's going to be. And it looks like a Martinsville track, but like I don't know what the bankings are going to be. So I wouldn't copy Martinsville. Why don't you I would do a hybrid between Bristol and Martinsville. Do a Martinsville track, but with high banks. But because you already have a Martin.
Should do a mini Darlington. But yeah, there's nothing in between. They've either got to do a Martinsville type track, which is basically flat.
Yeah.
6 degrees here, 9 degrees there, progressive, or they've got to do a Bristol. I think if they do kind of a Bristol with maybe more of a banking and progressive, I don't know, but they can't just do a Richmond or something like that. They've got to make it unique. And it wouldn't bother me to see a completely flat track, but it'll be and I was shocked when I saw what they were doing because it just snuck up on us. And it wasn't even the media. The first things I saw were on Facebook from Facebook pages that fans had sent in pictures, and then all of a sudden the media, NASCAR media, started covering it. But the first inklings of it I saw were basically from private people.
Come on.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to get the picture to put it on the thing, but give the picture. I'm gonna put it on for people to see if they're watching the YouTube. NASCAR looks to make Auto Club Speedway into it looks like a Martinsville, but looks like the front stretch has a slight bow into it, but not much, so it's not straight. Cars. Save image. Put it over your webcam.
Go ahead.
Okay. Apparently, this is what it's gonna look like. I guess it looks like a. Honestly, it looks like a. It looks like Martinsville, but it looks like tighter corners and longer straights. It's the best way to put it. So that's what they might be trying to do. So we'll see when they actually get to construction, because these are all just drawings of what they want.
Well, if they're putting that out there,
Yeah.
It must be.
That was from the NBC Sports site too. That was NBC Sports on. Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, that was an official drawing. It wasn't just a concept.
Why can't I find?
Yeah, so essentially the front stretch will use this. It looks like the same front stretch from the current track. It's just everything else is going to be new. It looks like the back stretch will be, man, that's going to be really small. The back stretch is going to be pit road, old pit road. That's actually really interesting.
I'm telling you, if California actually does this, Auto Club, I am going to be excited about a new race for the first time in a very long time.
I know we're talking about this, but also Texas Motor Speedway said they're going to reconfigure their track to be a hybrid like Atlanta. What Atlanta did. Because Texas got a lot of shit this year because how bad it was of a track and blah, blah, blah. And there's no reason for the, not playoff race, but the one Blaney won, the mid-season crash. Oh, let me go find
it. Are you talking about Kansas or
All-Star
Kentucky
race?
Or?
All-Star race. Sorry. All-Star race. When he won the All-Star race, everybody thought it was boring, blah, blah, blah. So essentially, they're going to remodel the track to be a hybrid super speedway like Atlanta, and not after next year's race. They're going to start, and they don't care about IndyCar. They said if we lose them, we lose them.
Well, they knew all their money was with NASCAR.
So we got a few configurations coming. So we got remodels coming. Those news came out this week too, so be on the lookout obviously for more news on that. But the Auto Club's going right now, so that's gonna go quick.
Oh yeah, I mean it looks to me like they've already blew the place up.
Oh yeah, they already took out all the stands to start all the construction.
Like I said, I'm excited if they actually do it. And hopefully that, like you said, they can get it done this year, so they're ready for next year, which it looks like they're well on their way to doing.
I don't think NASCAR announced the schedule, so I wonder when they're going to race.
Let me see if they've got it.
They've only announced certain races, but they haven't announced the whole.
Yeah, Chicago. We're going to Chicago on the streets. That's going to be a cluster.
Yeah, they haven't announced the full. NASCAR announced the next. They haven't fully announced it. There's certain race tracks that normally go to. There's no announcement. Said usually California is early in the season, February, March.
Right.
So I'm assuming they want to be done before then or by then.
Well, the way they're going, and it's not like they got to stop for
winter,
weather.
Yeah, so they can get on it, yeah. And it's not like they're It's not like they're doing a mile and a half. It's a half mile. You know, it's a quarter mile with 2 turns on it, essentially. Like I said, most of the pavement's already there. They just got to connect them. So I don't think it's going to take that long. I think it'll be done before the end of the year if they go on it.
We'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. Absolutely. All right, you got any other news bits?
Not that I seen. I did a little scan, but other than that, said most of the news is going to wait until playoffs start. People start kicked out.
Rusty Wallace is gonna be the grand marshal this weekend at Watkins Glen. Not that it matters, but
Of all places.
yeah. Well, he was pretty good.
Oh, I know, but when I think Rusty Wallace, I think Bristol. To be honest, I think
Me too.
I think Bristol because back in the day and he thought he was hot shit was Gordon and Earnhardt, and then Gordon started coming up, and so I always remember Gordon and Rusty battling it out.
And had some battles there too.
So when I remember of all places, I would think Bristol. We're going back to that during the
We're
playoffs.
actually going to have a real race at Bristol. Thank you. God, I can't. The dirt.
September.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
We got Watkins, Daytona, then Darlington, Kansas, then Bristol. Is it a night? Yeah, it's a night race. It's Saturday night, 7:30 p.m.
I was going to say, Bristol in the fall is always a night race.
I didn't know with the dirt. I don't know.
No.
Next week, Daytona night race. I should know it's going to be night, but since I'm changing the dates, I don't know. We got night race, day race, night race. A couple night races. Oh, that's it for the night races? Everything else is...
I haven't looked that far ahead.
That's why I just looked. Got 3 night races coming up real quick, and then day. I think Vegas would be cool at night.
Yeah. Do they even have lights?
Sure, they could afford it.
I don't know.
Don't they tout how cool the infield is and the pits with all the lights they have on the infield? Sure, they can do it. Well, other than that, there's nothing. I mean, I'm on their site, and there's news-wise. As Blaney signing their contract. There's really nothing too crazy. Nascar. They're not even talking.
I think there's going to be a lot of... We get into Daytona, that's when things are going to start shaking.
Well, after Daytona, I expect the gauntlet to drop.
Yeah. And just keep an ear to the ground this week for Kyle Busch news. The more time goes on, and I'm not so sure that him going to Stewart-Haas is going to be the solution. Where he goes, I would not know at this point. But the more time goes on, the more I believe he will not be at Joe Gibbs. I don't want to say he sounds defeated, but if a year ago, him and Ross, what happened, he'd have been a lot more animated. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, well, I got Chastain. It's my turn.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been furious. I'm telling you, there's something, I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with him and Joe Gibbs Racing. And after Ty's performances over the last 4, possibly, and again, I wish somebody tell us what's going to happen with Kurt, if he needs another week or not. Because I think Ty Gibbs is going to, if Ty Gibbs gets to race at Watkins Glen, I kind of believe he'll be a top 10 car. I really do.
Nothing on Kurt Busch yet.
I know. But I think now it's coming to the point where Joe Gibbs is telling Kyle, it's like, look, dude, I can't afford you almost anymore. You're going to have to take a lesser amount And by the way, I got this little guy over here that can easily drive for me. It might be a little rough in the beginning. And don't forget, I've got Trevor Bain on the bench. So it just seemed to me like Kyle Busch this weekend there was no life in him whatsoever. All right, let's move on to Watkins Glen. It is one of my favorite road courses. Number one, it's beautiful, but I love the racing there. You got that little chicane on the back straightaway where they're getting upwards of 140, 150, and then they have to slow down, do that right hand quick left, and then another big right. I love that because that ends up being the nemesis of almost everybody. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what the let's see, Watkins Glen. Let's see what we got here. Go bowling at the Glen. Because it's one of the original. You had Riverside, but as far as existing tracks that they still go to, I think it's the longest one. I don't know if Sonoma was added before or after. It really doesn't matter. But it was my favorite track as far as the road courses for a very long time. Let's see. Give me a track configuration. I don't know how you find this stuff so quick. About history. Because I want to get it right. I think there's like 13 or 14 turns on this thing. I don't mean to go dead here. I'm trying to. They don't even have track stats. And I'm on their page. Where's it at? I can't find it. I cannot find it. Are you still there? Or are you just not talking?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you to do your thing.
Well, I don't want to have all this dead air.
Sorry, there's other news unrelated to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's. That.
The Glen A to Z. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a picture of that. Oh my goodness! Come on, show me something. Anyway, it's one of my favorite tracks. I love that place. So, who are you picking for the win?
Tyler Reddick.
For this third win?
Yeah, he's gonna be the road course official.
Who's your dark horse? There's not a lot of choices.
Michael McDowell.
Is he eligible?
Yep, with his 100-point deficit. Yes, he is. I looked this up already. Not much there, but he's probably the best. He's usually pretty good at road course.
I'm taking Corey LaJoie.
Not bad.
Is Bubba going to finish in the top 20?
No.
That's my big fat no.
No.
Denny?
Yeah.
Of course. We agree on that. I think Bubba is going to end up on the end of a hook getting pulled out of a sand trap somewhere.
Yeah,
it's over.
Don't be wrong. Road courses. I just think Toyotas aren't up to par at road courses. No, he's saving his saving grace for Daytona.
And I think this is Truex's last true opportunity to get a real win.
I can guarantee you right now, if there is not another first time winner going into Daytona, and it's win or not be for pretty much anybody besides Blaney, there's gonna be so much shoving and crashing at Daytona. It's gonna be a fucking wreck fest. You better get your popcorn out. It's gonna be overtime galore because they're not gonna give. Like it's either I win and go into the playoff or let them go. They're not gonna do it. If Brad is up there,
he's in the top 30 now.
Yes, I'm saying if Brad is up there, he's going to do whatever it takes to get in the playoff. Because
look what he did and
that wasn't for playoff. So watch out. And we know he's fast, or Fords are fast at Daytona. So watch out. Like I said, I expect. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. It's gonna cause a lot of problems. There might be fights after Daytona.
If we don't get another first time winner this weekend at Watkins Glen, you're right.
Yeah,
that Daytona is going to be a demolition derby.
Anybody in the top 30 is going to be. They might do the Tony Stewart strat, sit back for the first half or the first three quarters.
Dale Jarrett invented that one.
Well,
hang back
and then at the end push, and it's gonna be nonstop. But it also could be the Denny thing: is stay up front, push as much as they can, and just go. And it just might be, like I said, I don't know. It's gonna be.
A race like this, you have two choices: stay in front of the big one, or far enough back
you can slow down and get through it.
It's
gonna be interesting because people are gonna give up. Like in the beginning, they're not gonna care about playoff points. They have to win.
The last stage is gonna be a complete cluster.
They're not gonna give. It's gonna be everybody's gonna be Chastain. So everybody's gonna push through. They're not gonna let up. It's.
Well, there are some people that will, though. That's my point.
The ones who are already in, but the people that aren't.
Elliott. I mean, there's a couple of them. Blaney. If Truex doesn't win, him, and like you said, everybody 15th or 16th and below.
Yeah,
they're gonna be the ones. The rest of the guys that are already in, knowing that there's no way that they're not going to make the playoffs, those guys they're going to get the hell out of the way.
Yep.
They are absolutely, you watch. I can see a scenario where you got 15 cars, Harvick and Riddick and all of them, Cindric, they just drop to the back. You guys go have at it.
Yep.
Go have at it. We're just going to stay out of this mess. But you guys like I said, Blaney and Truex, Buscher, Haley,
you got Almirola, Jones, Bubba, you got
Keselowski,
Cole Custer. He might have to prove himself, or he might be losing a ride. You got Brad, Harrison, Todd, and Ty. Look at Ty. Look at what if Ty gets in? He's losing that ride. And guess what? I'm in the playoffs.
Hey, don't cut Corey LaJoie out of that race. Look what he did.
Atlanta, I know. I said it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be one of the most exciting races of the year. Again, especially if we don't have a first-time winner this weekend.
Yeah.
Now, if we have another first-time winner this weekend, then all bets are off because now you're going to have.
Technically, they have to win and beat Kurt Busch in points.
Yes.
And Kurt Busch has 397. Hold on, let me filter.
But if you get another first-time winner.
Kurt Busch right now is 21st in points. And if he doesn't race the next two races, honestly, that could drop him to 25. So anybody in top 25 with the win can go.
And you get a second, I don't know.
It's going to be...
We'll know a lot better how to predict this
yeah.
after we get done with Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
But there's some really, really crazy scenarios that could play out this coming week. So, all right. I'm pretty much done with this week. You want to do your spiel unless you got something else, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, sure. If you guys are watching on YouTube or the audio podcast, we vice versa. You can watch us and see how animated we are on the videos on YouTube. Burn It Down Podcast, NASCAR Podcast on YouTube. Search it. And or vice versa. You want to listen to audio on the go. We're on rss.com, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Pandora, and Google Podcasts. All you have to do is search under the search bar or podcast search bar, Burn It Down Podcast or Burn It Down NASCAR Podcast. We are there. Honestly, just Google it. It'll be the first thing that pops up, and then click it, and you're good to go. Yeah, we're getting about, I don't know, 20 listens a week, which is pretty good compared to what we started. And the views are about 20 on YouTube. So like I said, it's growing. It's just, it is what it is until if we ever get a base, but I'm good with it. Having fun. It's only the first year, and I expect when the playoffs start, I expect more people to tune in to figure out what, our side of the story or whatnot. So,
well, like I said, after we get done with Daytona, we're going to do our predictions and cuts, and obviously our Final Four. And believe me, we're going to stick with it. It's going to be interesting to see how close we are to predict that, and no changes. And if anybody out there wants to get in with that, I'll create a damn spreadsheet to put it all on, and we can, I don't know, have a little contest of some kind, at least talk about other people. If you want to,
when we put that video out, if anything, we don't have an email that's public, but you can post on YouTube like your top 10 or 16, and then, to the top 12 to 8 to 4, then who wins. When that happens, we might have something's figured out by then for how to, if anybody's listening, to submit what they think their predictions are for the playoffs and how each round's going to go. But yeah, that's something I thought about. That'd be cool for us to predict what each round's going to be and then go from there. And if we're wrong after the first 12, we can do it again. 12 there and move on. We can have our original, but then we can adjust to the top 12, who's going to eliminate it and go on. But it's something that if I
pick the first 3 that go out, we're not changing the shit. We're going with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to win something this year. I just don't know what it is. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for giving us a listen, and we will, unless you got anything else, we'll talk to you next week.
We are on Facebook and Twitter, Burn It Down Podcast. Just search them. They're Burn It Down Cast on Twitter, Burn It Down Podcast on Facebook. That's a good way to communicate with us. You do it that way. Other than that, good to go. I need to be more active on Twitter and Facebook, but I'm really not as much as I probably should. I just have other things I'm doing when the race is going or throughout the week. I don't there's tons of NASCAR accounts out there that post literally up to date every 10 minutes or every wreck type stuff, and that's not me. I'm not gonna be that. I'm not that into I just know. I'll make comments, but I'm not gonna be 100% tweeting 100 tweets a day about NASCAR. Other than that, one thing I thought about doing, if I wouldn't mind saying this. I know TikTok is a big thing right now, and I've actually been getting a lot of NASCAR videos. I might start a TikTok for the Burn It Down podcast itself. Maybe post clips of the cast on there, but also I've been seeing a lot of people do reaction videos of old races or old race clips, and I thought that'd be cool to do. And just, just nostalgia effects or current statuses. I might do that. I don't know yet. It wouldn't take long to do, but that's something I'm thinking about doing to help drive viewership to for the podcast. So it's something I'm thinking about doing. I don't know yet.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm good to go.
Thanks again, everybody.